I want you to think. I want you to think big. Think about a world in which young people all over this planet are working together in trying to save the planet for future generations. But our challenge is not just insurance and health care. It's not just the high costs of prescription drugs. It is not just the impending disaster we face on this planet because of climate change. We have also got to have the courage to do what the media will not do, what politicians in Congress will not do, and understand that in a very significant way, this country is moving toward an oligarchic form of society. And I'll tell you what oligarchy is about. What oligarchy is about, and you won't see it on CBS or NBC or ABC tonight. But what oligarchy is about is three people in America owning more wealth than the bottom half of the American people. Three people own more wealth than the bottom half, and in America tonight, 500,000 people will be sleeping out on the streets. The time is long overdue for us to get our priorities right. And our priorities are an economy and a government that works for all of us. And not just the 1%.
Money in politics is one of the biggest issues we face in America today. It has made it so the wealthy can buy politicians and elections. And unfortunately, they do. A lot. For instance, did you know that there was $3.4 billion in lobbying spending in 2018? The wealthy try to buy influence with their money, and far too often, they are successful. In fact, we learned from a Princeton study that the desires of average Americans have virtually no impact on whether or not a policy is enacted. Meanwhile, we learned that the desires of the wealthy do have a direct impact on whether or not a policy is enacted. To exemplify, according to the study, ideally, if 0% of people wanted a policy to be enacted, it'd have a 0% chance of getting enacted. If 40% wanted a policy to be enacted, it'd have a 40% chance of being enacted, and so on and so on. So the resulting line, when charted out, ideally would move in an upward right direction. But the line of the average Americans does not do that. In fact, the line hardly deviates at all. In truth, according to the study, the desires of average Americans have virtually no impact on whether or not a policy is enacted. Meanwhile, the resulting line for economic elites, when charted out, does move in the general direction of the ideal, demonstrating that the desires of the wealthy do have a direct impact on whether or not a policy is enacted. And I think there is no greater demonstration of this, the power of money in politics, than what Bernie mentioned in the gross levels of income and wealth inequality in this country. Over the past 4 decades, the middle and working class of this country have seen a massive amount of their wealth get transferred to the people in this country that don't need it, in the wealthiest people in this country. And it isn't right. And unfortunately, people are really struggling as a result. We need to get money out of politics, and we need to create a government that works for all of us and not just the wealthy.